Shelby Noakes, I am the Director of IoT and M2M Sales at T-Mobile. Just started about 90 days ago. I think really kind of a big part of us being here and sponsoring this event, which we didn't sponsor that long ago. It's kind of a late decision. As you hear me talk about our IoT strategy evolving, and it's evolved a lot in the last 60 days, and a lot of that's been organizational, a lot of that's been investment in platforms and products and solutions. And so our hope, I think, my takeaway, what I'd like you guys to take away is that T-Mobile is investing in this space and as a player, and we'd like to partner with you guys. So against my better judgment, I'm going to ask you guys to show me I want to kind of know the audience. How many of you guys actually make hardware? You build a module or a chipset or a black box or something? To the hands. How many of you guys have an application that you're selling to an enterprise customer? Okay, it's about mixed there. How many of you guys actually use T-Mobile today in that application? That's actually more than I thought you were going to say, so thank you very much for that. So, T-Mobile, you look at the evolution of the last few years, right? We've been very focused on an indirect model, so we rely on a lot of our partners, which we continue to be successful doing that. But we haven't invested in brand awareness the way the other carriers have done. So a key strategy is really relying on the success of our T-Mobile retail and consumer side and what they've done. So what is T-Mobile? Most of you know us as the uncarrier. You see the commercials, you see our CEO on Twitter, and you see the events that we're doing in the uncarrier moves. To summarize, we've really done an uncarrier strategy on the consumer side, evolving around lots of use of data, evolving around using your phone around the world. I think that's kind of, there's two. Oh, and then of course the contract piece, right? Of getting away from contracts on phones. You've seen T-Mobile change the industry on the consumer, on the magenta side of the house that we call it. Now can we change the industry on the IoT side? So what have been the results of T-Mobile's branding since 2013? Keep in mind, back in 2013, T-Mobile had 33 million subscribers. Today, T-Mobile has 67.4 at the end of Q2. That's a substantial growth in our subscriber base. We've 13 quarters in a row, we have added over 1 million subscribers to our base. We're destroying the competition in net adds. We're destroying the competition in speed. 10 quarters in a row, we're the fastest LTE network. And T-Mobile surpasses AT&T in LTE availability. If you didn't read the latest press releases that came out a few weeks ago from OpenSignal, the company that uses kind of crowdsourcing technology to rate carriers and speeds and network availability, we're winning the coverage battle. There's a slide later. I don't want to jump to it, but I will talk about it. That today T-Mobile has 99.67, I'm going to round up to 99.7, pop coverage versus Verizon. So, you think back to what T-Mobile was in our network of 33 million customers and a 2G network and a 3G network and then evolving to UMTS and HSPA Plus and then on to LTE. You might have a different perception of what the network is today. So again, you look at what John's been able to accomplish and Mike Sievert and folks in growing our business. It's helped to do really one thing. It's helped to grow awareness among end users that T-Mobile is a major player in cellular. And now T-Mobile is doubling down and making a huge investment in IoT, machine-to-machine as we call it, strategy and solutions. So recently we brought over several folks from our corporate strategy team. Balaji Sridharan, who is now running IoT for all of T-Mobile, came over just less than 90 days ago to run strategy. We have tripled our team, both sales engineering, sales, outside and inside, and we've added an entire solutions group called IoT Solutions. In addition, we're still leveraging the same teams of our MVNO channel for operations and post-sale support and products to, I guess, jump in a way that we haven't in the past. So how does that message really translate to what T-Mobile is doing in the Internet of Things? Most of you guys, I think, are here because of the Internet of Things. I probably don't have to describe what is IoT. Then again, you guys read the same chatter that's going on in the market. So we're very aware of what Verizon and AT&T have done. Give them credit for, I think paving the path a little bit on net adds and revenue growth. You see Verizon reporting 195 million of IoT revenue in Q1. It's an impressive number. I mean, we've been hearing for so long about the billions of connections, and you're actually seeing the carriers now starting to see that. Granted, we're not reporting on the revenues of the other types of technologies, non-cellular, but certainly the large majority seems to be cellular focused. Prices are coming down, they're accommodating more applications, and hopefully we're well positioned to be in that space. Some other ones I like on here, you're seeing the VC funding go up substantially. You'll see a slide later on that we've partnered with a company in that space to bring together new solutions. I like this slide here where Gartner estimates 6.4 billion connected things will be in use worldwide in 2016, 5.5 million new objects connected each day. How many times have you guys seen the 50 billion connections slide today? Has it been on there a few times? I'm not going to show it. I think that's why we edited this to not say 50 billion. If it's on there in another place, I apologize. I did my best to not show it. Not that it's, what's that? I thought someone said something. Not that it's not relevant, it's exciting, but we're all aware of where it's going. Now it's okay, how do you position yourself to actually take advantage and monetize those solutions? So what is T-Mobile in the IoT, in IoT, where does T-Mobile fit? First and foremost, I've been talking about it, we are the network, right? You've got applications, you've got hardware, you've got solutions in cloud, you've got ways to monetize it, you've got ways to compute the data that's going over the network and find value there. But primarily our role in this is really simple. We are the network, we are the transport layer to connect the things that are out there to other things and to servers and to clouds. So our network today covers 313 million POPs, 1.6 square miles were covered. We've added 1,000 square miles of LTE coverage in the last year. So I want you to look at this map and then compare it to this map. So if you guys have received a T-Mobile presentation that's 6 months old, that's a year old, that's a year and a half old, if you've used a T-Mobile cell phone a while ago and has switched over to another carrier, if you deployed an IoT or M2M solution on our network year ago, it's vastly different than it is today. So again, 2013, 209 million POPs, growing now to 300 million POPs by the end of 15, and we're at 313 today, announced officially on the Q2 reports, it's 311 million POPs. That's a drastic difference in coverage. So as the network layer and component, if we're making this kind of investment in uncarrier moves and this kind of investment in our network, as we now announce that we're making the same level of investment and interest in IoT, the point of sharing these slides is to show you that we're going to basically back up what we've done on this side of the house in the IoT space. Granted, a lot of you are using other carriers today as you sell your solutions, and you've got a choice to make as you build new solutions going forward. Last slide on coverage, and then I'll let it go, is this 99.7% number. Sprint's got a commercial out there, right, that talks about that as 2016, everyone's got great coverage. But every coverage is different, and we're certainly catching up and now taking the lead at 313 million. And the fastest LTE coverage in the country. Does that matter for LTE? Does that matter for IoT? It didn't 5 years ago. It certainly does today with wireless WAN failover solutions and digital signage and video uploads of security devices and in-fleet car products. LTE speeds are making a huge difference. And even if they don't, we'll talk about what we're doing on our LTE network specifically to target this market in this space. How am I doing on time, by the way? Okay, give or take. I thought I had a clock here ticking down, but I don't. Oh, I do, 10 minutes, okay, I'm good. So we're supporting all major technologies. You're all aware T-Mobile is really the only 2G network that's up and running through 2020. We had a small hiccup. Most of you are aware of it if you deployed on our network. We kind of made an announcement that we were going to shut it down a year ago, lasted a few months, came back and changed that messaging. Had a small impact to our business and kind of the trust we have in our partners, so we're doing what we can to rebuild that. But we are keeping our network up until through 2020, so another 4.5 years of 2G coverage. Granted, a lot of existing devices use 3G and 2G, 3G devices with 2G failover, which are fine examples of products that can be on our network. And we are encouraging those devices to come use our network. With that said, obviously our push is for LT that we'll talk about. Through our partners, we are running promotions right now and direct on our own platforms where we want to get very aggressive for the devices that are on other networks. Rhymes with AT&T. I'm not exactly sure the company name, but the carriers that have 2G devices out there that are compatible on our network, we estimate there's anywhere between 4 to 6 million. That number could be a little lower, it could be a little higher. There's clearly a lot of customers out there. Some of you in this room might be in that same boat, where you've got 2G devices that you can't swap out. You can't get to those devices necessarily. Replacing the devices doesn't make sense. The truck roll doesn't make sense. But if there is a way to get to those devices and you can use a T-Mobile SIM card, we're offering promotions right now to incentivize you to do that. And when I say promotions, low to no cost options, at least in the get-go, as you guys look to do that. So approach me afterwards, we'll talk about it. We've got some partners here in the room that we're running specific promotions through that can essentially help accommodate that business and get you on our network. It's not a long-term strategy, right? It's a short-term strategy to help solve a pain point for customers that are on the network today, using devices on the 2G network. And our story is, it's there and it's available. As AT&T turns down their network, there will be a minor impact to our coverage. Under NDA, we are happy to share what our coverage will look like on our network without AT&T roaming. It is not, the roaming traffic that we generate in IoT is very minimal, a lot smaller than I think people expect. It's just been something we've been unwilling to put out in the press outside. But under NDA, we will talk about that, and I think what you'll find is it's a business that you can grow, if the opportunity is there. If LTE is more your flavor, and it is ours, we've got obviously our full-blown LTE network that we'll talk about on Cat 4 and Cat 6. But we now have a fully deployed Cat 1 LTE network, effective as of 2015. So really right now it's about devices. We are fortunate to have two really great partners, might be here in the room today. We've certainly had meetings with them. Telit announced today they've got a module ready for our network on Cat 1 that supports band 12. And we've also got Sequans, who was certified a few weeks ago and launched a Cat 1 ready module for our network. Why does it have to be ready and specific to T-Mobile? Maybe some of you know this, but we have deployed most of our LTE coverage, the expansion, on band 12, which is the 700 megahertz A block spectrum. What that does is it gives the in-building penetration that you did not get on the lower bands and the higher megahertz. So that growth, the thousands square miles of coverage, give or take, I think 800's on the sheet, but it's higher than that now, has been mostly focused on band 12. So by deploying a Cat 1 device that's got bands 2, 4, and 12, you get the entire coverage of T-Mobile on Cat 1. And then I won't go into too great of detail because it can get pretty specific pretty fast, but I'll share one more slide. We are actually planning late 2017 a Cat M1, M2 network with the Cat NB forthcoming later on down the future. I'm not a sales engineer, but I have some sales engineers with me here that are happy to talk in detail about our Cat M1 strategy. Obviously, like most folks, we are skipping over the Cat 0 category. Cat 4 is really our smartphone, and Cat 6. Cat 1, Category 1 is supporting the IoT. It's not necessarily the Cat M1 network in terms of battery life savings, in terms of module savings that you get with Cat M1, so we're trying to get there soon by 2017. But the nice thing about Cat 1 is it supports speeds up to 10 megabits a second. You can still run any type of application, and the modules are significantly cheaper. The deals we've done with Sequans and Telit, I will let them quote those prices to you. They are extremely favorable. And when you look at a coverage map today on LTE that has, again, 99.7% coverage versus Verizon, you're not going to lose the coverage battle deploying on T-Mobile. And you're not going to lose the price battle. T-Mobile is still the price leader. I don't have a slide on that, but make it known. We are the price leader. We now are a coverage leader, better than our competitors, tied with our competitors. And if you just look at the last 18 months, cross my fingers, but imagine where we're going to be in the next 18 months from now. That growth is not slowing down. The projections we have on our network internally are fantastic. Again, under NDA, we can share a lot of that information with you guys. And of course, as we migrate to the Cat M1, it's going to allow us to really compete with the LP WAN folks out there on a fully deployed network that already exists. taking care of the, the applications that need 10-year battery life, for example, applications that, you want to pay, like, it's tough to quote pricing, and I'm going to get a weird look from Caleb over there if I say anything about pricing on modules, since we don't technically sell them. But the module cost is substantially less. And you can see that on the graph here. It's $4 bills for Cat 1. It's only $2 bill signs for Cat M1. I don't know what that means exactly, but it's cheaper, right? And then, of course, we get down to the single dollar bill sign. Each of those dollar bills represents an arbitrary, unknown financial figure, so unfortunately I can't quote on it. But the idea is that T-Mobile's network is going to be supporting IoT applications going forward, and we're super excited about it. So what is our IoT strategy? We have been indirectly focused on this space in traditional M2M for a long time. We remain focused on letting our partners go and grow our business. As we focus, though, on switching from really machine to IoT, and you guys know all about the differences there on IoT and what it allows you to do with the data, what it means to your customer base and using the cloud, we're now also focused strategically on launching our own T-Mobile branded solutions to solve pain points for enterprise customers, but of course relying on our partners. So I'm going to highlight a few solutions right now that are examples of T-Mobile recently in the last basically 60 days, last 30 days, working with some of our partners to launch innovative solutions for the space. My invitation to every single person here, whether you're one of our MVNOs, whether you're an ASP, whether you're a partner that loves Verizon because you get leads from the VPP program, is just come and talk to us, because we're very innovative. We want to grow the space. We have aspirations to take our revenues from where they're at today and grow them by 10x over the next 3.5 years. Granted, we've got more opportunity to grow than our competitors since we haven't been as competitive up until this date. But again, the messaging isn't that these are the only solutions that we're offering, that we want to partner. I've got a B2B sales force in the field today that's begging me every single day to sell IoT solutions. And I need to be able to work with partners, hopefully partners in this room and partners that you know of, so spread the word. We need to be able to bring those solutions to our enterprise reps so they can take those solutions into their customers and sell them. T-Mobile's not going to build these solutions. We're not, some of our competitors are buying fleet tracking companies like they're, going out of style. And that's a strategy, and that's not a bad strategy. It's not our strategy, though. Our strategy is going to be to remain partner-focused. With that said, that partner focus will have us talking to customers differently. And I've just got like another minute, so I'm going to zip through these before I get yanked off here. We did a deal with Twilio a month back, 2 months back, that we announced it. This really changes how we can go to market, attacking the developer community, right? I mean, you guys know Twilio is the API layer, the communication layer for a lot of companies like Uber, for example, empowering the communication layer for them across, I think, 32 countries, maybe more now. We're hoping that a partnership with Twilio gets us into a community of developers, the young Silicon Valley crowd as they build these new businesses, and gets us embedded so that those folks start thinking about IoT. We've done a strategic deal with them where we can jointly work on customers. We can take those customers and we can funnel them into other partners. We can take them direct, and we can basically create custom solutions for IoT enterprise, IoT developers, frankly, not the enterprise crowd. We launched with Novatel Wireless what's called the Ignite solution offering. This is either Fini wireless device or the Novatel 2100 router gateway. We are selling this product to enterprise for a fixed price point. One example is $40. It gets you the hardware, it gets you the support, it gets you the cloud, it gets you the data connectivity, and we're really not labeling how much data can be used. This is still a Novatel product. It's just T-Mobile branded. We're helping to push it and drive it just like we would for any partner that comes to us and says, I want to be an IoT solutions partner. I want to work with you at T-Mobile. And we're just finding ways to leverage the brand. We've got our online store, we've got a growing brand in the space, we've got an at-work, we call the B2B team our at-work team, out there in the street today pushing these solutions, and that's what this is all about. Lastly, here's another example of really just a customer, right? I mean, someone like a Vinley who came to us looking for data connectivity, and we recognized that they wanted to attack the market of putting Wi-Fi in cars. So this is a solution that's just now starting to come out and they're starting to sell, where we said, okay, well, we've got a few different billing systems. Let's combine these billing systems and do a solution that's going to work for your customers different from just a wholesale strategy. So we worked with Vinley, we made upgrades to our billing platform, and now we're offering through Vinley, you can buy an experience that allows you to get unlimited data and binge binge on data and watch as much Netflix and videos as you can from the backseat of your car. So different from a true telematics offering like we've seen the competitors do, you've got full access to our LTE network and you've got unlimited watching. It's great for a family, someone traveling across the road and they want to enjoy network and not taking up their data plans. So these offerings, for example, might have to change and evolve as T-Mobile evolves. You saw the uncarrier move that T-Mobile did on Carrier 12. We're now doing one simple plan. I know I'm 43 seconds over, but I'm done right now. Our uncarrier plan is really interesting, right? Because we noticed that 50% of the people walking into our retail stores were our own customers. And 80% of those customers were asking questions about their cell phone bill. So what do? We're adjusting the way we bill today by doing T-Mobile one simple plan on your phones. So the same kind of thing is going to impact the way we do our IoT business, right? And it's going to have an impact. I don't hear about these uncarrier moves. I'm not high enough up yet at T-Mobile to know what these things are before they happen. I get probably 10 calls now that I've joined T-Mobile on the day we launched Uncarrier 11 and 12, asking me for an explanation and how does it fit into IoT. It's not there yet. We want to be there. Soon, I hope to have uncarrier moves that are IoT related, and I think that's happening. You'll see a complete strategy from T-Mobile with an entirely different way to sell IoT going forward. So again, I really thank you for your time. Hopefully I didn't bore you guys too much, but I do encourage you to come find me. Robert Scales, who is on our team, who's in the back, he's going to be on the panel coming up, so make sure and catch us when this is over. And the message here is let's do business together. Let's find a way. Let's get creative. Let's grow it. And we hope to hear from you. So thank you.